He did try to attack Richmond in March of 1862, but as is his normal way, he got cautious and retreated. In September of 1862, the Confederates marched into Maryland, which was a surprise and a rare attack. And the Union got a hold of Lee's plans beforehand, and they were overjoyed. They were excited. They're like, okay, we know what they're going to do, so we should be able to stop them. Well, McClellan was kind of slow to act on it, but did finally attack. But instead of winning a battle easily at what was called the Battle of Antietam, we basically kind of broke even. And it was a very bloody battle. Or over 23,000 people were wounded or killed at that battle. So a very, very bad battle, very bloody battle, one that should not have been so. The Americans should have been able to win fairly easily, but that just did not happen. So they ended up replacing McClellan at this time. President Lincoln did, with a guy named Ambrose Burnside, and I'm not sure if you could see Burnside at the bottom, but here on the next slide you see General Ambrose Burnside, and you have seen sideburns before, right? Where guys will have long sideburns. Well, this could come from Ambrose Burnside because that is what the man looked like. Okay, he had long sideburns going to a mustache. I personally think that's a good look. I tried it a few years back, and I think I pulled it off. I just kind of got tired of messing with it, and I'd sneeze and I'd have snot flying everywhere in the hairs and the whiskers and that kind of thing. So I think I pulled it off. I have more hair than that up top. I just like to shave it to make it look like I didn't, because I kind of liked Ambrose Burnside, but whatever. So that's what I used to look like. That was after I did the running of the bulls, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So okay, naval action. This is just the fighting along the water. Early on, the Union did a good job of blockading the South. The South had a lot of trouble. They didn't have a lot of ships, so they couldn't get goods in and out. The Union had abandoned a ship, and the Confederate States covered it with iron plates and named it the Virginia. And this was the first time anyone had done that, and that was to protect it from gunfire and that kind of thing. So the first time we had a iron plated ship was actually the Confederate Army, but the Union liked that method so well they started to do it. So they started putting iron on a lot of their ships. The North had such a large fleet. They had big feet too, but they had a big fleet of ships, so they were able to block the South throughout the entire war, which turned out to be a big, big, big advantage. There were Confederate victories early on in the war. They won some in the 1862 and 1863. The Battle of Fredericksburg and Chancellorsville were big wins for them. At Chancellorsville, something unusual or unique happened. There was a Union soldier that was approaching at night, or what they thought was a Union soldier, back at the camp. So one of the guys fired on him and shot him. Well, turns out it was not a Union soldier. It was Stonewall Jackson. And Stonewall Jackson eventually died because of this gunshot. So he was killed by someone shooting him from his own side. And there's a term for that. If we were in class doing a lecture, I would say, does anyone know what that term is? And 2 or 3 of you would raise your hand, and someone would say friendly fire. And I would say that is correct. So friendly fire is when you are shot by someone on your own side. So something that shouldn't have happened, and Ambrose Burnside, or not Ambrose Burnside, Stonewall Jackson was killed by a friendly fire by one of his own guys. The Union won some battles too in that time, so it's kind of back and forth, but they were winning a lot to the west. A guy by the name of Ulysses S. Grant, U.S. Grant, was able to take control of the Mississippi River all the way down to New Orleans. And during this time, we also won the bloodiest battle of the war, which was the Battle of Shiloh. So the North was winning its share, the South was winning a few, and everything else was kind of going as expected. It was going to be a longer war than what they first thought. Both sides were fighting well and doing a lot of good things. Once we got McClellan out of the way, it got a little bit better for the North, but just a lot of stuff going on. So that is the end of section 17.2. There was a lot there. Hope you all understand it. And if you're not sure, feel free to get a hold of me and ask me. I will be happy to help. So that is all of the notes for today.